You're not selfish for choosing yourself. You're not wrong for making yourself the priority. In fact, the moment you stop seeking approval, stop chasing people, and start focusing on your own growth, that's the moment everything changes. Most people waste years trying to be everything for everyone. They dilute themselves for acceptance. They exhaust themselves for validation. But the Stoics knew, you don't owe your life to anyone's expectations. You owe it to your purpose. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." That begins with choosing yourself. When you make yourself the priority, your peace sharpens, your clarity grows, and your confidence becomes unshakable. The chaos outside stops dictating your worth. You move from being reactive to intentional. This isn't selfishness. This is alignment. It's saying, I will not break myself to fit into spaces that don't value me. I will build a life that reflects who I truly am. And that requires discipline, boundaries, focus, power. In this video, I'll give you 9 unshakable Stoic lessons that will shift your mindset, strengthen your focus, and help you build a life rooted in self-respect and personal mastery. Each point is a battle-tested weapon, designed to keep you grounded, driven, and untouchable. So, before we dive in, hit that like button, comment, "I choose myself," and subscribe, because this message will separate the strong from the stuck. Let's get into it. Number 1. Guard your time like gold. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Those are not just wise words. They're a directive. Life is short. Time is not guaranteed. Yet most people live like they have forever, wasting hours on distractions, meaningless conversations, gossip, and shallow relationships. Your time is your most valuable currency, far more valuable than money. Because once it's spent, you never get it back. The Stoics understood this deeply. They lived every day with a sense of urgency, not panic, but purpose. They measured their moments and acted with intention. You must do the same. If it doesn't bring peace, growth, or meaning, cut it out. Guard your schedule like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't feel guilty for saying no. Don't feel pressured to attend every event or respond to every message. Your time is not a public resource. It's yours. You don't owe explanations to people who drain you. You don't have to justify your solitude, your focus, your discipline. Every time you choose to protect your time, you choose to build yourself. That's not selfish. That's strategy. You're saying, I matter. My vision matters. My energy matters. And in a world that tries to pull you in a million directions, that kind of self-respect is rare and powerful. So here's the truth. If you don't prioritize your time, someone else will, and they will waste it for you. Stop letting distractions steal your future. Start treating your time like the treasure it is. Live like your minutes are gold, because they are. Every second is a seed. Plant it with purpose. Water it with discipline, and watch your life rise. Number 2, know your worth and protect it. Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." These words cut through the noise of modern life. Because today, too many people are dressing themselves in opinions, likes, trends, and external noise, forgetting who they truly are. The Stoic doesn't look outward for worth. The Stoic looks within. You don't have to prove your worth. You have to remember it. And that means pulling your energy back from people who treat you like you're replaceable. That means no longer performing for acceptance or begging for recognition. You are not here to convince people of your greatness. You are here to build it quietly, relentlessly, with discipline and focus, because true value doesn't shout, it moves in silence. Every time you seek validation from others, you give them the keys to your confidence. And once someone else holds those keys, your emotional stability becomes a hostage. That's not Stoicism, that's slavery. Real power comes from self-validation, from looking in the mirror and saying, "I'm proud of the work I'm doing, I'm proud of who I'm becoming." That's unshakable. Know your worth so deeply that you stop negotiating it. Don't water yourself down to fit into rooms that don't know how to value you. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. And don't explain your vision to people who can't see beyond their own limitations. The Stoic knows this. Silence is often louder than explanation, and stillness is stronger than reaction. So, protect your worth like it's sacred, because it is. Set standards, enforce boundaries. Walk away from anything that insults your intelligence, peace, or ambition. Not because you're arrogant, but because you're aware of your value. And when you truly know your worth, you stop settling for average friendships, for surface-level conversations, for empty applause. You start demanding more from yourself and less from others. Be so focused on your own growth that their approval becomes irrelevant. Work on yourself so deeply that your presence alone commands respect. The Stoic path is not about ego. It's about essence. It's about knowing who you are, being who you are, and never letting the world dilute your authenticity. So here's your challenge. Stand tall in your value. Walk in self-respect, and let your results do the talking. Because when you know your worth and protect it, you don't chase things, you attract them. You don't beg, you build. You don't break, you rise. Number 3, detach from outcomes. The Stoics taught one of the most liberating truths. Do your duty, let go of the rest. In other words, focus only on what's within your control. You can't dictate how the world responds, how people react, or how life unfolds. But you can control your effort, you can control your attitude, you can control your discipline, and that's where your power lives. Most people live in a prison of expectations. They chase perfection. They obsess over recognition. They tie their identity to results. And when those results don't arrive fast enough, they collapse. But the Stoic doesn't operate like that. The Stoic detaches. The Stoic shows up, gives their best, and then steps back. Not out of indifference, but out of wisdom. Because they know, obsession with the outcome only creates anxiety, but commitment to the process creates peace. Detachment is not weakness, it's not laziness, it's not giving up. Detachment is mastery. It's the ability to pour everything you have into something without letting the result define you. If you gave your best, then you've already won. If you acted with integrity, discipline, and presence, then you've already succeeded. When you chase only the outcome, you become reactive. You're always waiting for results, approval, or success to finally let yourself feel peace. That's slavery to results. But when you love the process, you gain freedom. You wake up every day with purpose, not because you're guaranteed victory, but because your actions align with who you're becoming. You fall in love with showing up strong, calm, and focused, regardless of what the scoreboard says. This is how the Stoic becomes unshakable. Not by winning every battle, but by becoming the kind of person who's not defined by whether they win or lose. A person who is driven by excellence, not applause. A person who's in love with mastery, not attention. You must learn to plant seeds without needing to see the harvest immediately. You must learn to show up powerfully, even when no one is watching. You must learn to walk forward, even when the outcome is uncertain. That's real strength. That's emotional control. That's Stoicism in action. Detach from outcomes, not because you don't care, but because you care enough to focus on what actually matters. The effort, the discipline, the integrity. Those are things within your control, and that's where your peace will always be found. So, from this day forward, stop waiting for results to give you permission to feel worthy. Stop letting outcomes define your mood. Do your work, own your habits, train your mind. Let the world do what it does. And no matter the result, win or lose, rise or fall, you'll remain grounded, calm, and untouchable. That's what it means to live like a Stoic. Number 4. Build your mental fortress. You can't grow if your mind is a war zone. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." That's not just philosophy, it's survival. Because if your mind is weak, it doesn't matter how strong your body is, how perfect your plan is, or how big your goals are. A chaotic mind will sabotage everything. You have to treat your mind like sacred ground. You must defend it. You must protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. The Stoics understood this. You don't win in the world until you first win in your head. And most people lose before the battle even begins, because their inner dialogue is filled with doubt, distraction, and defeat. So, what does it mean to build your mental fortress? It means eliminating negative self-talk. Stop calling yourself names. Stop repeating failure. Stop reliving past mistakes. Speak to yourself with the same power and clarity you'd give a friend you deeply respect. Your inner voice sets the tone for your entire life. Then you must strengthen that voice. Feed it. Train it. Read philosophy. Journal your thoughts. Meditate every morning, not just to feel calm, but to sharpen your perception. Reflect on your actions daily, not to judge yourself, but to improve yourself. The Stoic doesn't just react to life, they train for life. Mental strength is not an accident, it's a daily practice. When your mind is scattered, so is your life. When your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and comparison, you can't focus. You can't grow, and you can't lead. But when your mind is disciplined, when it's clean and calm and sharp, you become a force. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't matter. You stop reacting to every opinion, every criticism, every temporary emotion. And instead, you start moving with purpose. A mental fortress doesn't mean you ignore the world. It means you rise above it. It means you know what to let in and what to keep out. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your reaction. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, and what you allow in will shape your life. So audit your inputs. What are you watching? Who are you listening to? What are you feeding your mind when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed? If it doesn't build you, it's breaking you. Mental strength is built in silence, in stillness, in reflection. You won't find it scrolling for hours or drowning in distraction. You find it when you sit with yourself, challenge yourself, and rise from your thoughts stronger than you were the day before. So today, build your mind like a fortress. Make it your sanctuary. Make it your weapon. Let it be the place where peace, power, and clarity are non-negotiable. Because once your mind is unshakable, nothing can stop you. Number 5. Work in silence. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." In today's world, craving has become a lifestyle. Craving validation, craving recognition, craving applause. But none of that builds anything real. The Stoic path is different. It teaches, don't crave the spotlight, earn the results. Don't announce the work, do the work. And above all, learn the power of silence. We live in a time where everyone is broadcasting their moves, their plans, their dreams, constantly shouting into the void, hoping to be seen. But real power doesn't chase attention. It moves quietly, confidently, strategically. While others post, you practice. While they seek followers, you build foundation. While they speak, you execute. Working in silence is not about being secretive. It's about being disciplined. It's about putting your head down and building without needing validation. It's about choosing results over recognition. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to win the war within yourself, day after day. Most people quit when they don't get attention. They stop when applause doesn't show up. That's not discipline. That's ego. The Stoic understands, success is not built on moments of recognition. It's built on unseen hours of effort. It's what you do when no one's watching that determines who you become when everyone is. You don't need to tell the world your next move. You need to become so consistent, so focused, and so obsessed with your craft that the results speak for you. Because when the time is right, your silence will erupt into noise, not through your voice, but through your victories. So, keep your plans to yourself. Guard them, nurture them, let them grow in the dark. The world doesn't need to see your seeds, it will see your forest. Let your actions be so loud, you never need to explain your ambition. This isn't about hiding, it's about mastering yourself. Because when you work in silence, you stop competing with the world and start aligning with your purpose. You protect your energy, you shield your vision, you keep your mind free from distraction, and your heart rooted in discipline. Seneca warned against craving more, because craving breeds weakness. But when you crave less approval, less noise, less recognition, you begin to access more of yourself, more strength, more focus, more clarity. And with that comes real power. So build in silence, grow in silence, train in silence, and let your silence shape you into something unstoppable. Because true greatness isn't seen in words, it's felt in presence. And when the time comes, you won't have to say a word. Your work will say everything. Number 6, prioritize inner peace over popularity. The Stoics didn't chase applause, they chased alignment. They didn't waste their energy trying to be liked, accepted, or validated. They focused on being right with themselves, not being popular with others. Seneca said, "You want to be popular? It's easy, just become like the majority. But that path will cost you everything that actually matters: your values, your direction, and your inner peace." Inner peace isn't some abstract luxury. It's the foundation of power. Without it, you are pulled in 100 directions, trying to meet expectations, trying to avoid judgment, trying to play a role that's not even yours. But when you prioritize peace, you stop performing, you stop pretending, you stop draining yourself for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. Modern life glorifies visibility. How many followers? How much attention? How much clout? But Stoicism flips that on its head. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, yet he journaled to himself, reminding his soul to remain steady, quiet, humble. He understood. Fame fades, applause dies, but peace? Peace makes you unshakable. You have to choose. Because popularity and peace often don't walk the same path. Popularity demands conformity. Peace demands self-respect. Popularity wants you to fit in. Peace wants you to stand firm. And sometimes, Choosing peace means walking alone. It means letting people misunderstand you. It means not explaining every decision, not defending every boundary, not reacting to every critique. But here's the power in that. When you stop chasing popularity, you stop being controlled. The crowd doesn't lead you. The comments don't shake you. The silence doesn't scare you. You become rooted, focused, disciplined. You do what's right, not what's liked. And that's the Stoic mindset. Right action, not reaction. Integrity over image. Inner stillness over external noise. Your job is not to be liked. Your job is to be aligned with your values, with your purpose, with your mission. Peace is not passive. It's powerful. It takes strength to stay calm in chaos. It takes courage to hold your center when others want you to bend. It takes focus to walk your path when others want you to follow theirs. And once you taste that kind of peace, the peace that comes from knowing who you are and refusing to betray it, you'll never chase popularity again. So protect it, guard it. Make your peace the priority, not the price. And if that means being misunderstood, let them misunderstand. If it means fewer friends, let them leave. If it means silence instead of applause, embrace it. Because at the end of the day, you sleep with your soul, not the crowd's opinion. And when your soul is quiet, when your conscience is clear, when your actions are true, you've already won. The Stoic way isn't the loudest, but it is the strongest. Prioritize peace, build from it, live by it, and watch the noise fade away. Number 7, embrace the struggle. Zeno said, "Man conquers the world by conquering himself." And you don't conquer yourself by running from discomfort. You do it by facing it head on. Struggle isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. The pain you're avoiding is the very forge that builds the steel inside you. The Stoics didn't sit around hoping for an easy life. They didn't pray for things to get lighter. They got stronger. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while battling plague, betrayal, and war. But his strength came not from power, but from principle. He wrote in his journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just a quote. It's a mindset, a philosophy, a weapon. Most people spend their entire lives avoiding the hard stuff. They want comfort, certainty, and quick success. But that's not where real growth happens. Real growth lives in the resistance, in the setbacks, in the moments where everything in you wants to quit, but you don't. You show up anyway. You stay calm. You stay disciplined. And that decision? That's the one that changes everything. Adversity is a mirror. It shows you who you really are. Are you reactive, emotional, and weak? Or are you grounded, controlled, and resilient? The Stoic chooses the hard path, not because they love pain, but because they love progress. They know that every challenge is a chance to sharpen the mind, toughen the spirit, and strengthen the will. It's not about being fearless. It's about being courageous despite the fear. It's about leaning in when everyone else leans out. It's about walking into the storm with calm eyes and a firm step, knowing that this moment is building a version of you that can't be broken. The average person avoids pressure. The Stoic uses it. They don't crumble. They get carved. They don't complain. They grow. You don't become disciplined by reading quotes. You become disciplined by facing the days you don't feel like it and doing it anyway. That's when the shift happens, from feeling like a victim to becoming a force. So embrace the struggle. Don't just tolerate it. Use it. Use it to become sharper, clearer, stronger. Let it break the weak parts of you so the real you can rise. That's what Stoicism is. Not about avoiding emotion, but about mastering it, Not about escaping life's blows, but about learning to take them and keep moving forward with purpose. You don't build a legacy in comfort. You build it in chaos, pressure, and persistence. So let the struggle shape you, not into who the world expects, but into who you were always meant to become. This is your edge. This is your advantage. Embrace it. Number 8, focus on progress, not perfection. The Stoic journey is not about flawless execution. It's about relentless, consistent evolution. You don't become strong by being perfect. You become strong by showing up, falling short, getting back up, and pushing forward again. The world tells you to be flawless, to never make mistakes, to perform perfectly every time. But the Stoic knows better. The Stoic understands that real mastery is built through practice, not perfection. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations as a polished masterpiece. He wrote them as reminders to himself. Notes: imperfect, raw, and real. Because the path to greatness isn't smooth. It's messy. You will fail. You will stumble. But if you learn, you grow. And that's the point. Most people are paralyzed by perfection. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect plan. But that moment never comes. So they stay stuck, watching, hesitating, waiting. You must move. Progress is power. Even 1% growth every day adds up. That 1% is your edge. It's your secret weapon. Seneca said, "While we wait for life, life passes." In other words, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting to be perfect. Start now with what you have, where you are. Make mistakes, fall forward, adjust. Just don't stand still. The Stoic isn't concerned with looking polished. The Stoic is focused on becoming solid. You'll never have a perfect day, but you can make the day better than yesterday. That's the game. That's how legacies are built. Small actions, repeated with focus and fire. The sculptor doesn't strike the marble once and reveal the statue. He chips away every day. The Stoic does the same with their life, carving away weakness, polishing discipline, refining virtue. Perfection is an illusion. It's a cage. But progress is freedom. When you measure your growth by how much better you are today than yesterday, you stay grounded. You stay empowered. You realize you're building something real, something that lasts. Don't be afraid to look foolish. Don't be afraid to start small. Everyone starts somewhere. What matters is that you start. The ones who rise are not the ones who waited to feel ready. They're the ones who moved while others hesitated. They're the ones who chose growth over comfort. Remember this: the Stoic doesn't aim to be flawless. They aim to be formidable. They focus not on being better than others, but on being better than who they were yesterday. So focus on progress. Respect the process. Keep rising, one imperfect, powerful step at a time. Number 9. Be your own standard. Stop chasing the image of success defined by the crowd. Stop letting someone else's timeline rush yours. In a world obsessed with comparisons, the most powerful thing you can do is define your own path and walk it with discipline. Epictetus said, "If you want to be free, be indifferent to what makes others slaves." And today, most people are enslaved by one thing: the need to measure up to someone else's standard. But here's the truth: when you base your worth on outside validation, you'll always feel behind. You'll always feel not enough. Because there will always be someone with more money, more status, more applause. But the Stoic doesn't look outward for approval. The Stoic turns inward. They ask, am I living by my values? Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I moving with purpose, not pressure? You don't need a crowd to clap. You need your own respect. That's the foundation of real strength. And that's what being your own standard means. It means holding yourself accountable even when no one's watching. It means staying disciplined even when no one is checking. It means measuring success not by what you've achieved, but by who you've become. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." And craving praise, likes, or comparison is the modern poverty of the soul. You're not here to compete with anyone. You're here to rise into the strongest version of you. No one else can define what that looks like. Maybe your success isn't flashy. Maybe it's waking up with peace. Maybe it's walking through life with calm. Maybe it's building your business quietly, grinding in silence while others scream for attention. That's real power, unshakable, silent, earned. Set your own standard for greatness, and then live up to it with everything you've got. Don't wait for motivation. Build routine. Don't wait for recognition. Deliver results. And when it's hard, when you're doubting, remind yourself, your path is not meant to be understood by everyone. It's meant to be walked by you alone. The Stoic isn't reactive to the noise. The Stoic is driven by inner compass. While others chase trends, the Stoic builds truth. While others seek fame, the Stoic seeks mastery. Be your own standard, fiercely, unapologetically. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. And that's what makes it worth it. These 9 lessons aren't just theory. They're tools to rebuild your life from the inside out. This is the Stoic blueprint to rising strong. Focus on yourself, work hard, and never apologize for making your growth a priority. Rewatch this. Let the message sink deep. Comment, "I choose myself," if you're stepping into this mindset. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Because each week, we bring you the wisdom to sharpen your edge. This is your space for power, clarity, and mental mastery. Remember, when you choose yourself, the world eventually follows. I'll see you in the next one, centered, focused, and in control.